This is Barnstable Today for Monday, March 2nd. Welcome aboard. I'm Mark Mumford, and please keep in mind that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
The Barnstable Harbor bulkhead provides our lead story today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
It was a heavy rainstorm just about a year ago on March 8th of '08 that resulted in the collapse of a portion of the Barnstable Harbor bulkhead.
Mark Ells, director of the town's Department of Public Works, provided an update at the most recent meeting of the town council in regard to the outlook for the repair project.
Good evening, Mark Ells, Director of Public Works. We've completed the alternatives analysis on the bulkhead. We've done presentations recently, both televised and had a stakeholders meeting recently. There were three viable alternatives to consider for the replacement of the sections of timber and steel bulkhead at Barnstable Harbor. The alternatives were an all-steel replacement, a steel-stone replacement, and stone replacement. At this point, we've made the decision to move forward with the steel replacement. There are three different costs associated with this. They range from about $3 million up to about $4.5 million. The steel is the more costly of these options. The challenge that we have is that whether it's a $3 million or a $4.5 million project, the funding isn't there to move forward with this unless we obtain a grant or some other sort of funding, stimulus funding or whatever it might be, to be able to proceed with either of these options. We are looking at every possible alternative. We are preparing to deal with the event of another failure along the bulkhead. The timber portion of the bulkhead is at the end of its useful life. There are no recommended repairs to extend that except for replacement. The steel bulkhead can have short-term repairs to it that will continue its life. But when you look at it comprehensively, the recommended solution is to replace the bulkhead in its entirety. So there is risk involved here with proceeding with the all-steel. The risk is that, number one, we'll expend our design and permitting funds to complete that process. There is a timeline associated with it. We are looking at the option of perhaps running a lesser expensive option, which may include stone in parallel, but that will require additional funds to do design and permitting. We'll keep you advised as we move forward with these decisions, and obviously watch the bulkhead closely.
Parking is at a premium around Barnstable Harbor much of the year, and Town Councilor Hank Farnham had a question for Mark Ells pertaining to that portion of the bulkhead repair equation.
Thank you. Two questions, Mr. Ells. Would there be a loss of parking? Is there a parking impact depending on which one of those choices you make?
Yes, there's the higher cost steel option comes with almost an in-kind replacement. And certainly we would improve drainage, we would repave, and could basically replicate the parking and the circulation pattern that we have out there. As you look to the stone alternative, you begin to lose parking, and so there's a little bit of a give and take there as to at what level that would not function. There are also permitting issues. You would have a little bit different permitting process if you deviate from the vertical structure that's there now to a slope structure in stone. You'd have an elongated process, and you'd have additional permits that would be required under the stone alternative.
Thank you. Second question has to do with, have you considered a commercial deck portion of the bulkhead, rather, for offloading of boats?
Yes, we're looking at that as part of all alternatives.
I think that would be a terrific addition if that's feasible.
We've had actually a lot of important feedback from the stakeholders that has all been taken under consideration. And Harbor Master and Lynn Poyen have done a great job in compiling that and making sure that from a program standpoint they're incorporating all that they can to not only address the immediate need but also to make it a more serviceable harbor for the various uses.
Yeah, that's great. I think a commercial section in there for those guys would be very helpful.
The Department of Public Works is continuing to analyze its options in regard to repairing the Barnstable Harbor bulkhead.
Meanwhile, another project that is being scrutinized very carefully is the plan to build a new terminal at Barnstable Municipal Airport.
Some recently published reports gave the impression that the airport terminal project was on the verge of implementation.
However, at the Town Council meeting, Town Manager John Klim made it clear that the airport terminal project has many hurdles still to clear.
To that. In terms of the airport terminal, very quickly, our position has not changed. It is that while there is a need for renovations at the airport, that this Town Council voted in September of 2007 to support conceptually the terminal, but there were 19 conditions. And in addition, we made it very clear that we want to have a firm commitment from the Mass Aeronautics Commission and the Federal Aeronautics Administration that the funding that we hope to get is concrete. And so not all of the 19 preconditions have been met, and we don't have either of the commitments from either FAA or MAC yet. I know that they're working on it. We have a new airport manager. I know he's cognizant of that we're waiting for those, and I don't plan to forward a capital request for the terminal for your consideration until we have all of that. And I don't know, I don't know how long that will be.
Don't forget, if you'd like to watch the Town Council meetings, you can find them on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
Meanwhile, a new pie shop is gearing up to open in just 1 week in Centerville.
This after the owner-operators went before the town's licensing authority seeking approval, where they were met with enthusiasm by Chair Martin Hoxie.
That's been approved. The next application is from the Centerville Pie Company, Incorporated, doing business as Centerville Pie Company, located at 1671 Falmouth Road, Centerville. Kristen Broadley, manager. This application is for new common victuals license. Hours of operation to be 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we'll hear from the applicants. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
My favorite subject.
Kristen Brother, owner, and Loretta Bowen, also owner. Took over the old Cape Cod chicken, and we'd like to bring back the old Centerville pastry shop.
I see. It'll be similar menu and everything to the...
Breakfast and lunch. We see you need in Centerville for...
Now, this is where, like, Pinocchio Pizza is and...
Correct, yep.
Now, I looked at the menu and, like, chicken pies. I mean, do you have, like, regular pies, like apple pie and squash pie and stuff like that?
Lamb pies.
All kinds.
All homemade?
Yes, sir.
When do you plan on opening? When would you be ready to go?
Hopefully March 9th. That's
Yeah.
our target date.
Some inspections.
And so you'd be closing at 3 p.m., so it'll just be lunch and breakfast.
We're going to close the kitchen part at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
We'd like to stay open till 6 so people can buy a hot chicken pie to take home
On the way home,
on the way home.
stop by. And,
And we want to
Probably should have that till 6 p.m., just in case.
okay, yeah.
Why don't we do it 7?
7 p.m.?
7,
Give
okay.
you a
you.
little more time to get there. Yeah, that's not
Okay.
a problem.
Mr. Berman, an amended motion, please.
Mr. Chairman, on the application of the Centerville Pie Company, Inc., doing business as Centerville Pie Company at 1671 Falmouth Road, Centerville, Kristen Broadley, manager, for a new common victual license. Hours of operation be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I would move that it be granted.
Second. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Application has been
you.
Thanks
approved.
very much.
Be seeing you, I'm sure.
Yes, we'll get pies.
You can also catch all the licensing authority hearings on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
All quiet on the meeting front here in town this evening. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kevin Friel.
We'll meet you right back here tomorrow. I'm Mark Mumford.